Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of a new series where we'll be looking at some of RG1 toys and boxes from when I was a kid. This series will showcase all my original toys and boxes that I kept throughout the years and that I now get to share with my boys. Today we'll be starting with my very first Transformers, Trailbreaker, with his original box and instructions. This was a toy that started me on my long, amazing Transformers journey, so I'm happy to be able to bring it to you in this way. So I mostly have Trailbreaker's accessories, but as you can see the instructions are a bit worse for wear, but I'm just happy I found it all. I'll show these instructions in a bit more detail shortly, but you can see that I have all the pages and it still has that great cover drawing. As you can see, after all these years, the toy itself is still in great shape, has all its original stickers, and doesn't have any broken pieces. Even the silver finish looks great. As for the box, it's definitely not mint and is missing the insert, but for not even knowing I still had it all these years later, I think it's still in fantastic shape. I'd never sell it anyway, so this is for our own personal collection. Now let's take a look at some of the original descriptions and info on the box, starting with the original claim to get kids hooked, transforms from camper to robot and back. We also have Trailbreaker's name at the bottom left, preceded by his role in the Autobots as an Autobot strategist. Over on the right is this awesome drawing of Trailbreaker with a bit more posability compared to the toy, but very close to the design of the toy itself. The original boxes had a few of the major transformation steps at the top. Obviously there were more steps in the mix, but as you can see here, they threw in a few separate steps of the transformation into one image. And at the top we have the very first Transformers logo, and the side view has both images of the Trailbreaker toy, as does the other side. You can see the original price tag of $10.99 USD still on my box. The back has a ton of fun elements, but I'll first note that I cut out the points for the mail-away toys at the time, which I still have in our collection. The tech specs call out on the right over here with some info on how to use it and save it. My favorite part is obviously the back image, and the top left has Trailbreaker flying through space in his truck mode, which is totally 80s. Top right, you see the very cool short summary of the world of the heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons, and you can see right underneath it a ton of secrets flying in the background. Here's Trailbreaker's bio, which calls out his function as defensive strategist. I'll put that up a bit later. And you can also see the nice official 1984 date printed here at the bottom. As for the bio, lots of interesting tidbits, but I like how they call out his impenetrable invisible force field, which was used in some IDW storylines where he was considered an outlier under Senator Shockwave. Now let's take a look at his tech specs. I haven't found my original decoder yet, so I'm using the Monopoly Game 1. I'll scroll through it slowly here, but the one that stands out for me is his lower firepower, though he has extremely high endurance. To wrap it all up, some more similar art and info that we've already seen right here on the bottom. And there we go, the original 1984 box for Trailbreaker. Now let's move on to the bottom shelf, Trailbreaker in his pickup camper mode. Like I said earlier, all the stickers are still there, though a bit frayed in some spots, as well as his rubber tires still being in pretty good shape. The front still has his Autobot sticker attached, and you can see how nice the paint has held up over the years, as well as his silver grille and blue tinted plastic windshield. By the way, I love the 80s styled colored bars along his side and camper, and you can also see some of the plastic used in the front windows, which surprisingly held up as it's part of the transformation. As for the back, mostly black with some red for the taillights, a bit of the silver from the legs shows up at the bottom, and as we turn it upside down you get the full view of what becomes the legs of Trailbreaker with some red infused plastic. For accessories, he has this, not sure what you call it, one that attaches to his head, these two missile looking things that are kind of used as antennae, I'd say. One of his missiles that can replace his fist, and his right fist, which is actually from Hoist, as I can't seem to find my black Trailbreaker ones yet. Let's look a bit more at his instructions in some well-used condition, to say the least. The second panel shows us what he comes with, including his sticker sheet. with the next few panels going through the step-by-step transformation using both images and a written explanation, which is nice and something we no longer see, at least for Hasbro Transformers. The backside wraps up the transformation steps, with the last panel having some info on how to use the decoder and the robot points. And there you have it for the booklet. So I'm actually going to get to show you the transformation step by step for fun by flipping this around first and untabbing these two arm panels, which are the side of the truck, lifting up these legs like so, and then you just flip out each of the feet. Sorry, it's a little wobbly, it's been 40 years. And then you're going to lift up the lower arms like so. And I'm going to add in the fist now, and this little launching missile on the other arm, like that. They just click in, and you can actually press the tab on the side and they pop both out, kind of like a flying attack. And now we'll just take that headpiece motor looking thing and we're going to tab it in right here. I'm going to just place the head and body kind of as best we can. So that's pretty much him transformed. All we have to do now is add on these two little missile things, like so. And there you have it. So now let me show you a little bit of close-up of my G1 Trailbreaker. So you can see the nice silver on the arms over here, the front, some of the stickers at the top, which are a little bit worn. And then underneath the arms here, there are some more stickers, which are actually in really good shape. So here's one. It's kind of like this mechanical kind of looking thing. And then underneath the other, like I said, still in really good shape. Even the feet are pretty good, and I've transformed it quite a bit. See the stickers on the back, just overall in really good shape. The silver is not worn at all. I'll just put the head back on here. Oh, sorry, dropped one of the missiles. And there you go. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to transform this guy back into his truck. We'll take off all these accessories. I'm going to take off this missile by launching it. It's a attack mode, and same for the fist. And now we're going to push down these arms, fold out the body and the back camper part with the head pushed in. You just lift up this trunk part, push back the feet, and then just fold in the legs like so. Pretty straightforward. And then all we have to do is click back these side panels. And you can see what I was talking about earlier with the plastic kind of part of the window being part of the transformation. And I'm amazed that it's still held up after all these years. And there he is, back to his truck mode. Awesome as ever. And rolls amazing. So that's it, a fun little look at my very first Transformers figure, G1 Trailbreaker. As promised, the stills of the box, toy, and instructions booklet, so you can enjoy and pause if you want to read or look at any of the images and info in more detail. I've thrown in a few comparisons of the more recent Earthrise Trailbreaker, which reproduces a lot of the G1 elements nicely, including his arm panels and 80s decals, but updates his head to better reflect the G1 cartoon. And for a bonus, I've thrown in the 85 booklet, I believe it's 85, which has the first two series of G1 Transformers, which I will showcase a bit more as we go through the entire roster of my collection. This booklet happens to be in French. Enjoy the images and the very authentic and well-used nature of my original 1984 G1 Trailbreaker and his box, and I'll see you next time.